morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a new Blaziken card. Everybody seems to like Blaziken. Blaziken's had some really good cards in the past. So maybe this one will be really good. Let's have a gander. I should mention our translation here does come from the lovely Joe over at sarahb.net, but it also comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, one of our very, very favourite people here. So I think it's fair to say that if both of them are agreeing, we're probably on to a winner. So starting off with the basics here, we've got 170 HP, and 170 HP is high. This is up there with stuff like Rillaboom. It is a step above your average stage 2. This is a very good thing. We got a retreat cost of 2, which means free retreat with Air Balloon. We've got a weakness to water. I'm still expecting Frostmoth decks to be good. It's still not happening, but you never know. Maybe one day. And you are a fire Pokemon. Being a fire Pokemon is awesome. It means you're hitting weakness on Zacian, which is the best Pokemon, well, at least one of the best in the game right now. Dragapult's kind of stolen its thunder a little bit, but make no mistake, it's still a phenomenal card. And it means you've got Welder to accelerate a little bit of energy, which is generally a pretty good thing. It means you've got stuff like Giant Half and Fire Crystal to go and get your energy as well, which is very, very cool. It means that you're hitting weakness on any grass decks that might come around. Again, maybe Rillaboom becomes good in the near future. The point is, it is a very, very good time to be a fire Pokemon. Except this is not just a fire Pokemon. You see, Blaziken has the ability Double Type. This Pokemon is both fire and fighting type. And this is really interesting to me, because a little while ago, around about Steam Siege, they brought back dual-type Pokemon. We had stuff like Volcanion, which was water and fire type, and Volcarona, which was both fire and grass type. And then they brought out a Galvantula that was both grass and lightning type, and was an absolute nightmare for colorblind people. It was not ideal. But then again, it's got both the symbols there. This does not have both the symbols there, and in that regard, it is very, very reminiscent of the Gallade from Cosmic Eclipse. The Gallade from Cosmic Eclipse also has the ability Double Type, and it makes it both Psychic and Fighting type. Now, one of the things that I find very interesting, and I do believe this is a coincidence, incidentally, I don't believe there's actually anything to it, we've got two Pokemon now with the ability Double Type, and they are both part Fighting. Actually, we also saw the Golurk in Ancient Origins that had the ability Double Type, and that was Psychic and Fighting. But then it all falls apart when you realise that there was a Magnezone, and the Magnezone is dual typing, but it is, well, it's got the ability Double Type. And we're talking Lightning and Metal. So even though 3 of the 4 are part Fighting, that is actually just a weird coincidence. So your fire type, which I've already talked about how awesome that is, you're also fighting type. And let's be clear, being fighting type is just about to be ridiculous. Now, I showed you the top 5 decks in the format right now yesterday, and I told you that as it stands with Rebel Clash now legal for tournament play, Pikachu and Zekrom is the best deck in the format. And incidentally, I stand by that. It is the best deck in the game right now, and it's weak to fighting. And the other Pokemon it plays, things like Raichu and Alolan Raichu, is weak to fighting. And Tapu Koko is weak to fighting. But remember that everybody at the moment is playing Dedenne as a support Pokemon, a consistency Pokemon, and would you believe it, weak to fighting. And that is actually going to be replaced by Crobat V when Darkness Ablaze comes out. Same set this is going to be in. That's literally Shaman, but limited to once during your turn. And would you believe it? Weak to fighting. And actually, to be fair, we are heading into a format with Darkness Ablaze where it looks very, very much like the best deck may well become Eternatus VMAX, which is weak to fighting. Fighting is about to be an exceptionally relevant weakness, and here's what's ridiculous about Blaziken. You've got the consistency of a fire Pokemon with stuff like Welder, Fire Crystal, Giant Half, etc., with the weakness hitting of a fighting Pokemon, that is absolutely nuts. Now, what is really sad is that this is coming out as Diancie Prism Star rotates, because Diancie Prism Star lets your fighting Pokemon do an extra 20 damage. That is awesome, but unfortunately, it's going to be rotating about when this comes out. And that is a little bit sad, because you see, the other thing is that we've got Karate Belt, but that reduces the attack cost by 1 fighting energy, and there is no fighting energy in the attack cost. We've got Martial Arts Dojo that does 10 extra damage if you're not behind on prizes, 40 extra if you are. But that's basic fighting energy, not fighting Pokemon. The real advantage fighting Pokemon have at the moment is Diancie, and that is going away, but you are hitting weakness basically on all metal Pokemon, all grass Pokemon, all poison Pokemon, colourless Pokemon. It is ridiculous how many Pokemon you're going to hit for weakness with this one Pokemon. And you've got Welder. You also have an attack, and according to both Antoine and David, fire double colourless energy, 130 damage, attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. Yeah, so you're doing a decent amount of damage, but you are also going to be accelerating energy, and it is any basic energy, does not have to be fire. So you can play just a couple of token fire energy, knowing that you will then be able to keep reattaching them with Blaziken. And as soon as you reattach a fighting energy with Blaziken, you then can just Welder, and then you've got free energy on there, one of which is a fighting. Because let's be clear here, you need Martial Arts Dojo. Because the problem is, hitting 260 with weakness is good, but think about the format we're in at the moment. Now, against Eternatus V, yes, Eternatus V will go down in one hit. It's got 220 HP, you're good. Crobat goes down, the Dene goes down. Very crucially, Pikachu and Zekrom, and even Raichu and Alolan Raichu will go down, because with weakness you're hitting 260. But Eternatus V Max, you're not. Eternatus V Max, you need to hit 170 damage, with then weakness will be 340 and get a KO. You need to do an extra 40 damage. That's where Martial Arts Dojo comes in. And I know that you don't need to have this double type ability with Blaziken to use Martial Arts Dojo, but I think you really should have it here. Because what you're going to be able to do is then get a one-hit KO on an Eternatus. Now, you will need to be behind on prizes for this to work, but firstly, you're a Stage 2 deck. You're giving up the first prize or two. That's pretty much a given. Secondly, if you're not behind on prizes, you don't mind 2-hit KOing for 3 prizes while they're 1-hit KOing for 1 prize. That seems alright with me, ladies and gentlemen. So you're good in that regard. You're doing all right. I love this. I do get a little bit sad when you realise you need Martial Arts Dojo to get Eternatus. But remember, all the other Pokemon that are weak, you are getting a one-hit KO without doing this. So I'm all right with that. That's actually all right with me. I can live with this, ladies and gentlemen. I can live with it. Now, when you're talking non-GX, non-V, your single prize Pokemon, you should basically be relying on getting a one-hit KO on pretty much any of them, which is rather nice. And then, against stuff you're not hitting for weakness, you're basically 2-hit KOing Pokemon GXs, and then you're 3-hit KOing VMAXs, which is a little bit sad. There's not a huge amount you can do about it, unfortunately. But it is something you need to bear in mind. It's a little bit sad. Let's just put it that way. It's not the end of the world, but it is a little bit sad. I think this is a Pokemon that is really relying on hitting for weakness. I think the weakness here is huge. And bearing in mind, you'll be getting Zacian, you'll be getting Eternatus, you'll be getting Pikachu and Zekrom. You won't be getting Dragapult, but there is a strong argument. And to be fair, if you're also fighting type, you will be resisted by Dragapult. But there is a fairly strong argument here that Dragapult might pretty much entirely go away when Eternatus comes out and starts wrecking the format. It is a little bit sad. We do have another Blaziken, which accelerates energy. The problem is it came out in Dragon Majesty, which means it will be rotating around about when this one comes out. This is going to be your only Blaziken. It's going to be your only option, which is a little bit sad. Blaziken GX as well came out in Celestial Storm, which means it will also be rotating out as this comes out. Boo hiss, etc. This, taken on its own, is a good Pokemon. The fact that it's got the consistency of fire, you're hitting so many Pokemon for weakness, you're accelerating energy while you attack. Yes, I know it's a stage 2, but we've got plenty of cards like Rosa around at the moment, and Oricorio and things of that nature, that really do make it so much easier to get stage 2s into play. I am not holding that against it. And when you can be getting one-hit KOs for multiple prizes on pretty much all the best Pokemon in the game right now, I'm cool with this. I love it. I would like to know what you've... Oh, wait, no, Wassy score. Let's give it 4 Wassies. I'm in a really good mood today. But also, I think this has a lot of potential. But I'd like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.